18 minutes. That's all it could take to decide the future of humanity. Kathryn Bigelow's latest film, House of Dynamite, dives headfirst into that chilling countdown. A window of time that U.S. leaders might have to act before a nuclear missile reaches its target. And here's where it gets unsettling. This scenario isn't science fiction. It's rooted in very real procedures, practiced for decades inside some of the world's most secure rooms. Sitting calmly in Venice, Italy, Bigelow speaks about potential nuclear annihilation with a tone both composed and deeply serious. She doesn't dramatize it because, as she emphasizes, the truth is terrifying enough. Set to release in theaters this Friday and on Netflix October 24th, House of Dynamite takes viewers into the heart of crisis management, the Situation Room and U.S. Strategic Command, to visualize what those crucial 18 minutes might actually look like. The nuclear dilemma. Bigelow has never shied away from difficult subjects. Her filmography, from The Hurt Locker to Zero Dark 30, has consistently placed audiences in the center of military and geopolitical tension. K-19 The Widowmaker already hinted at her fascination with nuclear power and its consequences. With House of Dynamite, she once again immerses herself in that haunting intersection between global policy, military might, and human fragility. I seem to live in the overlap between art, journalism, and the military, Bigelow told the Associated Press. Every film starts with a question that haunts me. The only way to answer it is to make the movie. Growing up during the Cold War, Bigelow remembers the duck and cover drills that defined her generation. Now 73, she reflects on how the fear of nuclear destruction never really disappeared. It just became background noise. Even as 9 nations today possess or are believed to have nuclear weapons, public engagement with the topic has diminished. We still see the word nuclear dominate headlines, she notes. But few truly think about what it means anymore. Building the house. To dissect what living in this metaphorical house of dynamite means, Bigelow joined forces with Noah Oppenheim, journalist, screenwriter, and former NBC News president. Equally fixated on nuclear strategy, Oppenheim gathered stories from current and former military officials spanning multiple administrations. Together, they crafted a narrative told through 3 parallel perspectives, unfolding as a ticking clock thriller that races from the Missile Defense Command all the way to the Oval Office. What they discovered was shocking. In an event of imminent attack, the U.S. president, the only person with the authority to launch a nuclear response, might have less than an hour of actual training on how to handle it. Less than an hour, one former defense official confirmed. Imagine leading the free world with just 18 minutes to decide whether to retaliate, and no real experience navigating that kind of nightmare. Controlled chaos on screen. Filming such a complex chain of command, Bigelow admitted, was like playing 3D chess, coordinating scenes that spanned the Situation Room, the Pentagon, FEMA, Fort Greely, and U.S. Strategic Command meant weaving multiple timelines through endless phone calls, screen feeds, and logistical hurdles. On set, real generals, 3- and 4-star advisors, helped maintain accuracy, ensuring that everything from communications flow to the handling of the nuclear football felt authentic. Rebecca Ferguson, portraying a Situation Room officer, recalled how surreal it was to act alongside real soldiers. It reminded us that this isn't just some theoretical exercise, she said. Kathryn demands emotional truth, and that's what gives the film its uneasy realism. Bigelow made certain that each character felt human, not symbolic. The trained professionals making life and death calls are also parents, spouses, and individuals coping with exhaustion or distraction. One official is up all night with a sick child. Another is filling in for a superior scheduled for a colonoscopy. Jared Harris's character, the Secretary of Defense, is grappling with grief, too preoccupied by personal pain to focus entirely on world-ending decisions. Those brief glimpses of fragility, Harris shared, are what make these stories painfully real. No political sides, just humanity. Despite rumors, Idris Elba's portrayal of the U.S. president is not based on Barack Obama. Bigelow and Oppenheim intentionally stripped out partisan elements to focus on universality, the immense isolating burden of command. Kathryn wanted to humanize the president, Elba explained. Not as a symbol, but as a person, flawed, uncertain, doing the best they can under impossible pressure. The movie never definitively reveals who launched the missile. Was it North Korea? Russia? Or even a rogue submarine captain seeking revenge? Leaving that question unresolved was deliberate. As Rebecca Ferguson puts it, there are no sides here. The system itself is what's under scrutiny. Should one person truly have the power to end the world at the push of a button? The hard truth: we built this. In the tradition of her most acclaimed work, Bigelow uses House of Dynamite to blur the border between cinematic entertainment and investigative journalism. Through its storytelling, audiences experience, almost physically, the dread, confusion, and moral weight that define nuclear decision-making. She puts you in the chair, Oppenheim said. You feel what it's like to carry that responsibility. And Bigelow doesn't hide her message. Nuclear non-proliferation should be our top global priority, she insists. We created these weapons. We engineered our own destruction. In this story, we are the villain. But what do you think? Is Bigelow right to argue that humanity itself is to blame? And that our fascination with power eclipses our fear of extinction? Or do you believe nuclear deterrence still keeps the peace? Share your thoughts below, because if House of Dynamite teaches anything, it's that silence can be far more dangerous than disagreement.